Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
毁天灭地，nice！毁天灭地
Dire
，nice！
team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Dire team pick.
Wow！毁天灭地，毁天灭地，nice！
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Dusk.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Razor.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the grand finals here of the Western Europe qualifiers for the International 2022. I'm Buddy Pixel, joined by Kezu, and we're getting ourselves ready for this one. Of course, best of 5 between Entity and Team Secret to fight for that one spot to go straight to the International. As you can see here, the run that we've had from both teams, Entity straight through the upper, not dropping a single game. Secret, of course, to get knocked down earlier by Entity themselves.
5 seconds.
Find their way back through the lower bracket, taking down Nigma Galaxy into the breach. Of course, today, Team Liquid. It's been a long road for them and a long day of play, right, Kezi? I mean, Secret, they started playing, I think, about 1 o'clock, and still much more Dota 2 for them to play here, and against a very, very scary team. We're here with the draft coming up on your screens. Kezu, thoughts and feelings coming to this one. Is there a chance that Secret could take a game, could take the series? Because everything we've seen so far, Entity looks unstoppable.
So,
5 seconds.
I think that Secret can, though if you're a Secret fan, I have a stat for you that will not make you feel very good.
Oh, no,
Since these two teams have these iterations, Secret have not yet won a series against Entity.
Oh,
I
how many
believe
have they
there's
played?
7, like 3 or 4. They've played like 3 BO3s and 1 BO2 at the Genting event. In matches alone, so in single games, the count right now is 7-3
10
for
seconds
Entity.
remaining.
Okay. Well, you know, if those 3 were in a best of 5, that would mean Secret would win it. So there's still a chance,
True,
you know?
true.
The stats are there, there's a chance, but yeah, very excited to see this. Very excited to see this. I mean, so far, obviously, today from the games that we've had, what are you thought really about Secret showing? And like, what sort of form do you feel that they're in today, going off the games with
I would say that Secret are stepping it up again. Also, especially the longer that these tournaments and qualifiers go, you can really see the expertise and the experience come in with how you adapt to your draft, pulling out some Centaur +5s and some random Tusks creeping in for Secret that they either play on Syeds on the +4 or Nisha on the +2. Then also overnight, they had to think about to play this Leshrac in the offlane earlier against the Slark, which worked out very well. And already here, they're coming in with their Tusk again. Some of the bans have been changed, but Entity, they have a very, very good carry player. And what I would like to point out for Entity is that they have played with pure confidence, no pun intended. And they picked their Morphling here on the closing pick on the first phase. Very good pick against Razor, just overall one of the hardest counters to that. And now they are protecting him with their bans.
10 seconds
Absolutely.
remaining.
Anything else you want to be taking out to try and give your Morph that perfect game?
It's going to depend a little bit on what their own 16-17 is. There are heroes such as Phantom Lancer or some Illusion heroes could be very scary. They're very good against Undying, against the Tombstone. They're very good against Morphling in the game as well. So if Entity's next 2 picks don't really cover that, then that is something you can take out. Faceless Void is also still in the game, another hero that you can consider. So I think your bans here, okay, they will leave all of those. Perhaps they think that there's just too many of those, so we'd rather just take out the mid type of hero that gives them more team fight. I can totally see the Pango ban too.
Oh, for sure. Seeing how well Secret's been able to play with the Pango.
10 seconds
On the hero
remaining.
right now that's
5 seconds remaining.
honestly, if you're drafting against Entity, what do you even do? I mean, I feel for a start, do you sort of obviously considering the flexibility that some of these players have, it feels like some of these heroes you just don't know who's going to be really playing them. It must be a nightmare trying to draft against Entity when they're in the current form and they're playing the game as they have been.
To me personally, it's really not easy at all to draft against these guys. They're very confident with multiple first picks, so no matter what you take out there, they're going to be comfortable here as they are with their Undying. And then in the second phase, again, it's going to be highly dependent on what you want, but I feel like a route that people could try is to ban out both Nyx and Earthshaker against Entity, because those are the only 2+4s that Katomi has actually played in this tournament so far.
Okay. Here we have it, Secret. Get the Centaur, and I would imagine, honestly, it's almost certainly going to be what, Puppy Centaur once again here today?
I would assume so, yeah. So, I mean, there is a strength. So they have picked the Centaur multiple times now. The pattern that I see is they pick it with a quote-unquote another core that can go to multiple lanes. It's been so far always with Monkey or Razor. So maybe there still is the potential flex if Entity allow it. But I would assume that Secret will feel most comfortable if it's just this +5, maybe use it for the Stampede against the Undying. And I mean, so far from what I've seen, it's looked incredibly good for being I mean, that's not a support hero, man.
10 seconds.
I mean, we did have obviously a very entertaining game earlier where we even got to see a bit of Aghanims action, which was whichever way it ended up going in the team fights. Still very entertaining to see people thrown into the back of the cart and dragged around a little bit by Puppy. Over the side of Entity, as you were mentioning, no surprises here. They have the option of taking one of the two. And indeed, the Shaker, the one that's available for the picks, once again getting their hands on that. And it's been very impressive, right, the Shaker play.
No, absolutely. He will always set up his offlaner nicely. They play their team fights incredibly well. They also always have like this mid-game timing, which matches very well with Earthshaker, around the blink timing or a potential shard. So it would make the most sense for Secret here to pick their mid, because then they still get to save their last pick for the offlane of Entity, which will be their last pick on their side later. Pango is out, which would have been a great pick. I could see something like a Kunkka. I do know that Nisha likes this hero a lot. It's perhaps a little awkward with Tusk Centaur, but it's very good against the Invo matchup as they go TA.
Okay. Would you imagine that is going to be Chrysalis playing that safe lane, or is this Nisha TA?
Probably, I would assume that they're very open with these options so far in terms of where they're going to go. Perhaps the last pick of Entity will then truly reveal what Secret will do. There is definitely an overlap in Razor and TA in terms of what they do. They're somewhat similar heroes, right? Very single target. They rely on their BKBs. They have like timing, like a clock on their team fights. That's what I like to call these heroes. So in the last pick, we're going to look for a very different archetype of core hero for Secret.
Look what entity. Hero would gap that seems to have
Dire
that final core
ban.
built out there. Played hero really.
Yeah. I mean, for now, it would seem that Entity believe that this is just a TA mid, which is a it's a good matchup against Invoker, always has been, and I assume that it always will be. Not whether it's Quas Vex or Exort, I don't even think it makes a very big difference here. As Secret are just gonna take out. They should be looking to take out these ranged offlaners that lane well with Earthshaker, so that again Earthshaker enables you in the lane, and then with you being strong in the lane, this then allows the Earthshaker to roam around the map a little bit, because that again could be the tipping point in this mid lane to the TA potentially getting pressured.
5 seconds remaining.
Ban, throw ban the way of Chris Hero Pool.
I mean, I know that the lane can be very hard, potentially, depending on Entity's pick, but seeing that there is a Venoban, it's not too crazy because it's Entity, but Faceless Void is still very good for Secret. I am a little scared, at least, without seeing Entity's hero, in terms of how well that lane would go, because you most likely do have a +5 Centaur with you. But it is an incredible Faceless Void game. It's the type of carry that would even allow the Razor and TA to still play their game very well. You know, you have the Chronosphere. It's an incredibly good time dilation game. And there's only an Earthshaker. Invoker can be somewhat annoying and Shaker, but if you can play around these heroes somewhat and you have heroes going in for you, it can definitely work out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Right.
Dire
Not every draft we do see Void get left into last couple of picks, and it will be available. Consider it Sniper. The final ban from Entity. What else they want to remove from the
10
flame
seconds
potential of
remaining.
Entity?
Visage is already out, Viper is out, Venomancer as well. Bad Rider, another ranged offlane that you could pick, but that one gone too.
I mean, what sort of range offlanes are still in?
At this point, if you really do want one, it's gonna be a quirky one. It's Chen.
Wait, so I mean, this is going to be offlane Undying, right?
Honestly, I'm not certain. At this point, I'm not sure. I believe that they play offlane Chen.
Okay.
They might. Probably again. It's gonna come up to the last pick of Secret, so that's gonna throw it off a bit. This makes Faceless Void a lot worse, in my opinion.
Sure.
He does not lane. If it's a Chen, you don't lane well into him. If it's an Undying, I believe you don't lane well into this hero either. The illusion heroes are somewhat covered by Shaker. Strange. Trying to think here what they want to go for.
I speak for the change.
Choose your hero.
With the Prophet, so we'll see what that means, everyone. Where everything's going to go here for both teams. Yet to see the reveal from Entity on, who's going to be taking which here between the support and the offlane. And,
You want the Chen, yeah.
It's going to be offlane Undying, Toby. And
If it was if they had gone for a carry Prophet, then I believe there would have been a higher chance for Toby to actually be playing the Chen.
Yep.
But I think either way, with how the lanes will go, you want the Chen to go to the Nature's Prophet's lane, because again, Chen lanes really well in lanes where you can take over creeps, right? Especially if it's your enemy summon, so that's going to be very good for them. And other than that, I'm very hyped for this early game. Even though some of these heroes are very static, the Shaker, Chen, they're going to have movement around the map. They're going to be freed up for sure.
Absolutely. And overall, who's come out on top here, Kezu? I mean, you're looking at the two lineups. What are you liking? Are you again going to be able to believe in the sort of the innovation that Secret's coming in, this Centaur Warrunner support that nobody else is playing right now? Is it gonna make the magic happen here?
I feel like the Secret Tricore is very strange, at least to me. I can see why they went for it. Nature's Prophet, very good against Morphling. Though I kind of like what Entity have. I think it is very much their bread and butter. Even if they haven't played this much Morphling, Pure is an incredible morph. It's a pretty good morph game. He is laning against Nature's Prophet, but again, he is covered by his support, the Chen, who's going to make this lane a bit easier for him. I would look for him to have a good game, really.
Right, well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are just getting ourselves into this one. Game 1 of the best of 5 here. Team Secret versus Entity, fighting for that one spot that will take you direct to the International 2020. Here we go. Started off.
Let us fight.
I'll smoke up outside of the base to try and position. Vision. Same time. And in terms of the early lane matchups, are we going to see any sort of matchups try to be forced by either side?
I wouldn't say necessarily forced, but it is definitely nice, as I touched on, if the gen is against the Nature's Prophet.
Yeah.
Top lane by default should be super favored for Secret, at least as far as I'm concerned. You have 2 melee heroes, the Shaker Undying against Razor. Even the fact alone that it's a Razor carry against these heroes will make that lane very good. He has a pulse 5 Centaur, which again, I don't know how good this hero is, but if your carry has a good matchup and then you're the pulse 5 Centaur, I'm sure the lane will be absolutely fine for you.
Let's see. So far in this run,
The battle
qualifiers
begins.
Entity drop a single game. Flawless. Secret, they've had some highs, some lows as well. Make it here.
And after them.
Important series. Long day, but that extra bit of warming up will work in their advantage.
They've at least got the momentum on their side, for sure.
Yeah.
They've been playing the whole day and like smashing people with some, doing some good stuff with your Centaur. It definitely also shows that their preparation has been working out. I'm sure they also have heroes in this game that they feel good about. And also something to definitely keep an eye on is going to be the Smith matchup. I know that it is at least supposedly TA favorite, and I don't think this has changed. So also we'll need to see if Nisha will continue to have a good game, as he has done pretty much all tournaments so far.
Been incredibly reliable, Nisha. Mid performances, many a game here for Secret. Bad shot top lane. Down Katomi. Seen this a few times now from a few teams. So what's your thoughts on Undying in the core role? What does this sort of enable in the hero when you're given this priority?
The hero just seems to lane very well with the new decay, where you don't lose this HP, and also you push out waves really fast with this hero nowadays. You have a little higher damage later on, then your decay deals more damage to the creeps. But it's overall just about the levels and the tankiness. You hit all these timings like a lot faster. Your laning stage is really amped up, as you can see even up top. They're playing this double melee lane into Razor, but they're applying a lot of pressure. They're ahead in the CS, and Crystallis is already on 40% HP in this lane.
Consistent spam here from Toby. Very, very low. Katomi also able to grab the creep to make them meet. It takes a lot of damage for it, and we'll be able to snipe his courier. That out after delivery made.
Roots and run. That's mine.
Right.
Denied.
So far, pretty good. 8 for 5 here on the last hits and denies. Sort of pressure so far in this lane. I mean, will this change, or does this just sort of be a pretty safe lane for the Mortar farming? Is there ever really any potential threatening pure?
I would say that the only real way for them to change, if we have a little bit of a Raz top, is around the time where Razor gets level 3, because sure, he will still steal a Treant, but you have one more. So instead of just having one, you're going to have 2 Treants, so that's going to help a little bit. But unless Secret get to apply pressure within like the next 2 minutes of him getting that second level in Treants, then that lane later on doesn't really become much better. Sure, you will pressure the tower a bit with Nature's Prophet, but if in the next 2 minutes they don't shut down Pure, they will not do it afterwards either.
do you sort of see any potential for any of those early moves to add an extra hero into the mix in any of these side lanes to try and catch out any of the cores early?
So Stormstormer is playing an Exort build, so there's not too many moves that are going to go into the mid lane, I believe. At least not from Entity side. Secret could look for plays later, and they definitely want to. When you do play this Nature's Prophet in the offlane, it's one of the most tempo-reliant heroes in the game, which means if you have plays to speed up the game, it's very good for you. Like, Tusk can potentially roam mid, and then Nature's Prophet can go there. But Entity don't really have the same option. They can look to counterplay it with the Earthshaker. So I would say the only real place we're going to see is that Secret should really be eyeing this mid lane later with Tusk and the Nature's Prophet rotation.
Far in the mid. 16 for 12 against their 14. Creep being denied in the mid lane between the two. Stormstormer denied just a little bit more from Nisha. A few eyes in there as well, of course. Top lane. 17 and 4. Well, now him is basically dead even on the top lane.
Whoa, mid lane.
Take Stormstormer down here. The ice wall. Quite able to stay on top of him there, but an early attempt here to bring down the Invoker Rezo. Showing his face. Just Nisha. Someone's going to be fine. Survives the attempt. He'll be able to continue to CS in the lane as Rezo has to step back to bottom. Get a position here. Fishman is around to help out though. Zayat is very, very low. Pure waveforms in. A kill, but not before on the other side of the map. Crystallis was able to claim that first blood, taking down Toby.
Looks like they must have clipped the Undying top, maybe with a slow into the Centaur Stomp. Looks like the eventual pressure of top lane is too strong from the Razor. I mean, I was already a little surprised how well the Undying was doing, but I think with the changes, it's not too crazy that he was doing good for like 4 or 5 minutes now. The Secret get this eventual kill on them, which is great. In the meantime, Pure gets himself a little kill on bottom too. That's Fishman here.
Trapped. Pure can really do in time to be able to help out. Secret flying kills now in both side lanes. 6-minute mark.
I like what Zayat is doing here again in the enemy jungle, especially around the 5-6 minute mark, nighttime. Not only do you get to go in like an aggressive area to scout things out, you get to place vision, which he just did, and you can potentially set up the play around mid that we've already touched on. You do have the TA traps now, and we all know Exort Invoker not really the best at protecting himself, if at all.
Try earlier movement. See this focus around the mid lane. Coming in, Rezo. Look for the setup here behind the tower. Backup is here, Entity, and Fishman and Katomi. Ready once again to just make sure that Stormstormer is going to be perfectly fine. They'll get a bit of damage done to the tower. Fresh with the Treant, Secret, same time top Puppy. Trying to fight Toby here. He really wants the tombstone, but he's taking a lot of damage for it. And will lose his life for that one. Back in the mid, Nisha also gets caught. The ice wall gets laid down. He's not able to escape. That's well, a big kill in the mid. And on that top lane, a very easy kill there for Toby.
Well, definitely nice plays from Entity all around the board. I do think the way that Secret engaged the mid play in both times has been less than ideal. I feel like they're forcing it a little too much. I like that you can see that the idea is there and they know what they want to play for. But I believe that currently at this point they're trying to do it a little, like they're not patient enough to make the play. And then in the meantime, Toby, he drops his tomb top, gets out a little bait and actually gets a kill on Puppy. That was pretty interesting too.
He's going to be very happy with that one. I mean, you see at the moment, second highest in the net worth here, Toby on the off lane and dying. Very much showing its strength, even in this matchup where, well, a melee hero against a Razor, he's just not, you've not felt any sort of pressure from that whatsoever.
No, not at all. His item build actually is very cool and Undying. I think he just understands, okay, it's a type of lane, you will not beat Razor by right-clicking, so he has spent all his money on mana regen, which is not just good for him, but also for his Earthshaker. So, Sage Mask, Basilius, Raindrop, now Arcane Boots. Just very good build by him, completely understanding the matchup that he's playing into.
Make a go on him now. Tombstone has the ult. So there's going to be any sort of help for him. Fisher comes into play. He'll try and heal up with the Soul Rip. Might have a chance of bringing Christmas down in return. Kantobi's in with the stun. Indeed, they'll be able to find the trade. Puppey is sort of trapped in it, trying to find a way out, but the zombies are building up upon him. Kantobi stays on top of him as the zombies, they're killing him off. Toby gets the double kill. I mean, this top lane is turning into a bit of a mess, but a bit of a beautiful mess, I think, here for Toby, as he'll happily go down for that one.
I mean, Owen, you asked me why they play offlane Undying.
I mean, this is why, yeah. I mean, Secret just don't, it seems like they don't really know how to deal with it. It's just working at a pretty deadly level. 3 kills now for Toby in this top lane. You got to be careful. You don't want to mess with this man. If you try and go for the kill, you're going to both die.
Yeah, Undying is just the type of hero where you need to truly understand whether or not you can kill him from full to 0, because if you don't, it's just a situation where you will get turned around on, right? He's gonna pop his ult, get some HP, heal himself, drop the tomb. So I feel like right now Secret are trying a little too hard to make their plays work. And now, since some of their last plays have failed, I don't really blame them if they feel a bit of pressure right now, because Rezo is not too happy on the Nature's Prophet yet. He's going for an interesting build, which is the Vessel Rush, actually. Considering that he's playing against Chen, Morphling, and Undying, I can definitely see this one work out. So he's going to look to get involved a little bit. But if he wants to have a good timing on this Vessel, Secret need to hit a few of these moves.
Sure. So yeah, already the early net worth lead starting to favour towards Entity. Got Puppey. Pretty dead here, Cold Snap. Enough of a setup for Entity to clean up another kill top lane. Aggression from Zayas and Chrysalis, but not able to find a kill out of this one. In fact, they've got to roll away. Katsuomi is able to get a fantastic angle. Locks off the escape of Zayas. This top lane is going to end another kill here into the hands of Toby's Undying.
Entity are moving the heroes very beautifully around the map right now. So now seeing that Pure has had a very good early game, and similar to what I said, they didn't get to pressure him with the one Nature's Prophet timing they had, and instead he is now very farmed on the Morphling, and he can protect his bottom lane for a long time. Remember back in the draft where I said that their cores are very similar? Well, they picked a third hero who's basically one more of that. They don't have too many rotations around other than the Nature's Prophet, and now that they've missed a few timings, you're not going to have Nisha run bottom and help Rezo to take this tower, so Pure's just going to live rent-free in this bottom lane and just farm everything.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely concerning if you look at what Pure's been able to get away with down here. Top net worth by clean 1,000. You know, the CS far ahead of anyone else yet. Complete free farm here on a Morphling. And we've seen many times kind of what consistently happens when Pure gets complete free farm. Very little teams stand any sort of a chance against it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And this is a pretty good morph game. So now, though, for Secret, at least on the flip side, Nisha is still doing very well on the TA. The TA morph matchup is a little bit weird. If you have help from your team as the TA and you force the Morphling to have to strength up, it's pretty good because he loses more armor, then you start hitting him with the death zone, you can actually be pretty scary. So right now, since the game is not as good as Secret would like it to be, they should look to Nisha, help him get this Desolator, and then look to involve his hero a little bit and help him get involved in the game. Because right now, he can't. His objective is going to be to farm.
Pressure here coming from Entity will succeed. Taking it down, we'll see Puppey pop the stand through. They've got a snowball coming in as well. The ice wall will be laid out though. And Entity, they're ready to turn this fight around. The slam goes down. They've taken out Puppey. They'll get Zayas as well out of this one. Secret, they've got to run. There's no fight to be had here. Right. I mean, yeah, Pure, can you finish this off? Oh, nice Sprout. Rezo will be able to block off the morph momentarily, but the waveform, it's still going to be able to close the gap. Entity, they'll get 3 kills. They're now up to a 3k lead. Been playing around with Nisha as well, making sure he doesn't have the easiest of time of farming his own triangle.
So I think for Secret right now, I mean, Entity are just playing really well. The way they are positioned on the map is very good, but so far it's mainly Secret making plays and they're not really working out. if you're Secret, I think right now they need to understand that their kills don't really happen that fast. They don't have that much burst damage, right? And they're playing against heroes who are really good at turning plays. Undying Tombstone heal, there's a Chen heal, there's a long-range Fissure. So unless your plays really happen fast and you snap a guy out of the game, Secret need to be a little more aware of where they fight and how many heroes Entity actually have in the area. Because they're always ready and they will counterplay you like this every single time.
They're ready to return towards the bottom. Pressure starting to show here from Resolution. They want to deal with this. Easy coming in. You get the setup onto Rezo. There's the burst. There's the opening. Sunstrike connects. Rezo goes down. An easy catch and kill there for Entity as Rezo shows his face close to the tower.
Yeah, for now it's just really all Entity. For Secret, of course, they're not going to feel great with the position they're in, but they're only down 3k gold. They have a bit of a greedy support in the Centaur and the Tusk, where they both somewhat need items. So right now, I think they need to slow down the game a little bit. Let Rezo get his Vessel, he's very close. Perhaps give a lane to Puppey, and then really they need to keep farming the map. Right now, they cannot fight into Entity. Their draft is not really designed to do it. They're also behind in the game. And I think soon enough Entity will force the first Roche, and I'm kind of interested to see how Secret respond to that one.
Sure. And I feel as well with Secret's lineup, how easy is it for all these heroes to kind of find the space to get this farm that they need at this stage? Because it feels like kind of a pretty greedy lineup in terms of the 3 cores and then the areas of the map that they want to be clearing. It feels like there's a crossover.
There absolutely is a crossover, 100%. The good thing for you is that you have a Nature's Prophet who can potentially farm like very iffy areas that maybe other heroes can't. But without having vision on the map, that is also not really easy to do. So Secret are kind of in the position where it's very hard for them to play this game right now. Like their next moves are very important.
So they can make a move here on the mid. Go for Toby. Two of them, they will get the kill. Stampede also allows them to safely disengage. If Entity can catch anyone out of this, they can't. The Stampede enough to split Secret apart, so they get in, they get the kill, they get out.
That was very nicely played. Definitely making the most of the situation at that point. So that is absolutely how they can fight. It's likely even the only option that they can do it at this point is that they find someone and they hold the Stampede to then disengage after. They hope to kill the guy fast enough. As soon as he drops low, Stampede run away so that the Tombstone and Cold Snaps and all Ice Walls, whatever, that they don't slow you down. So very nicely played by them.
Back off at least. Hold off from making the next move, I'd imagine, until they have Stampede available once again. Very well as mechanic to get them out after they find that opportunity to make a quick move. Blink daggers, Kataomi, 1500 towards it. Able to find side step. Dagger done. Between that and the bots, ready to be all across the map. Again, just these items that Entity are getting out make it that little bit easier to respond, even quicker for favorable positions that they're able to jump back against Secret when Secret try and go for these.
Yeah, it's time for Entity to go Roche. Pure has played the bot area long enough. He held the tower alive for a long time. He got all the farm going, and now they're far ahead. They have a very good Roche lineup. You have Chen, you have Morph, you have Undying as well with the Tombstone. And now here, this is a very... Okay, as we have a Stampede coming in.
Aggressive Stampede here from Puppey to try and start the action off, but doesn't look like the rest of his team really want to get involved in this one. As Puppey goes down, Entity, they'll resume the Roshan. Zayas, he's hovering around the edge of the pit, but there's just no way they're getting in on this. As Entity, they're able to take it down, get the Aegis into the hands of Pure. Just a little bit ambitious there from Puppey on the lead-in.
Yeah, definitely. Perhaps not feeling good enough, about giving Roche to your enemy, but sadly, sometimes the truth is you have to give it to them. So do you rather just give them the Roche, or do you want to give them Roche and kills? And sometimes it's just hard to let go in that situation, but I do think for Secret moving forward, they want to hold the Stampede as they showed in the mid-fight prior. They wanted to disengage or to kite around the fight a little bit. But either way, nice job by Entity. They go for the objective that they need. They finish up the Roshan. And now they're also getting closer, not even just close. They just finished the Blink Dagger on Kataomi. So this is going to allow them to actually play faster around the map. And they have two plays now. You force this top tier 2 tower, or if you already see very clearly that Secret will not fight you, you can smoke across the map. Because right now you're in a position where Secret don't really deserve to farm that much of the map with the heroes that Entity have.
And as you know, you mentioned in the draft that we're going to be a bit concerned if Kataomi got one of his two heroes that he's been popping off, and we really are seeing it so far this game again. 2-0-8, high involvement on the kills. Yeah, with this Blink Dagger added into the mix nice and early for him. Secret, they better be scared. Bottom lane, Stormer. The setup on Resolution, no chance of a TP out here. The four of them surrounding him.
Blink Invoker, very cool. Seeing it this early. I mean, Stormer, a Invoker specialist. He's been Grandmaster or whatever this tier is called for as long as I played this game. So this guy definitely knows its ins and outs of this hero. Now Entity, they TP'd all their heroes to bottom. Very likely that they're going to look to soon get out of here, start connecting with their Morphling again, who I haven't talked about Morph that much, but Pure is just rocking this network chart. And there's really no surprise there with the start that he's had.
Yeah, completely free farm in that lane down bottom. And as I say, when you kind of give Pure that sort of start, he's going to start hitting these insane numbers. Skadi, just 800 gold away, 20 minutes in. So you're looking at this Manta Skadi Morphling, which is pretty terrifying for Secret, especially when you consider obviously that they're running a three range core right-clicking lineup. I mean, the Skadi's going to be their worst nightmare.
Oh, absolutely. That's a thought.
Gets up with a two-man slam. They'll put the Stampede, but Puppy, he's already dead. Zayat rolls in. He's quickly out, as it is already starting to look very difficult for Secret to get any sort of footing in this game against Entity, and we're just 20 minutes in.
Tower is under attack.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned because this, I'm sad to say it if you want Secret to win, but this game is not getting easier for them. This is an incredible morph game. He has Alacrity. If it isn't, it's already a great morph game. He has Alacrity, Tombstone, Soul Rip, Chen heals, and then Earthshaker getting stuns for him. This doesn't get much better.
And of course also Toby's finished up a Lotus Orb.
Yeah.
So he's got that to throw down on Pure as well. They have all the tools to... Honestly, also the tools to pop up a Morphling in this state, say to a 30-minute mark in a game, but they've got this all set up at 21 minutes here.
Yeah, and they're just gonna go up high ground, and this is absolutely the correct choice. I also like the creeps on Fishman, attack speed at Tusk. Zayat's just taking a ton of damage because casual spells.
To go for the snowball, but another quick snowball into his death. Yeah, brings him another kill. They'll put the fortification, but it really feels like these racks are going down no matter what. We're just 21 minutes in. And Entity getting to take whatever they want from the map. And Secret, they just don't have a response. We see the waveform in over towards Nisha, caught by the Fisher. He's out for 50. Yeah, ready to continue to play aggressively here. Still 40 seconds on the Aegis. It's Entity. They are coming into this grand finals as explosively as they have every other series we've seen from them in the run so far. This qualifies. Puppy goes down. Entity, they're not going anywhere. They're into the base, under the tier 4s. They'll turn towards Crystallis. It's going to be pretty much a team wipe on the BKB, but the sun strikes there. GG is called. Welcome to the grand finals, ladies and gentlemen. We've just had a 22-minute victory here from Entity. Well, I mean...
Entity are here, that's for sure.
They certainly are.
Phenomenal.
Okay, well, that was game one there, Kezu. Thoughts?
Yeah, okay, so it's only the first game, so Secret will need to change something in the draft, I think. So when you go into this game, you have a Morphling who's picked up very early on, and honestly, it's a very good morph game. Apart from potentially the lane, which then they instantly salvage by getting a 23-pick Chen. I even overlooked that. I thought the hero was banned in the first phase. And then I think Secret just tried a little too hard to maybe, to get their plays happen. But maybe they knew that their draft wasn't amazing.